Ladies and gentlemen, let's stop pretending this is optional. Loving yourself first isn't some fluffy self-help phrase. It's the foundation of every decision you make, every boundary you set, every dream you pursue, and every relationship you build. Because here's the truth, if you don't love yourself, you will beg for crumbs from people who wouldn't even sit at the table for you, and that is no way to live. You are not here to be anyone's backup plan. You are not here to shrink so that someone else feels more comfortable. You are not here to keep proving your worth to people who can't even recognize their own. You want love? Start by giving it to the person in the mirror. You want respect? Speak to yourself like someone you admire. You want peace? Stop negotiating your needs with people who don't even listen. The biggest relationship you'll ever have is the one with you. And too many people are out here abandoning themselves for likes, for attention, for a seat at a table that doesn't feed them. Enough of that. You've been taught to pour into others, family, friends, coworkers, until you're dry, and then you're told that feeling empty is just life. No, that's conditioning, not truth. The real truth is this: when you love yourself first, everything changes, your standards change, your habits change, your expectations change, and yes, some people in your life might not like it. But guess what? That's a sign you're growing, because when you finally decide you are enough, the world starts to shift. People who once walked all over you, they won't know how to act. Situations that once drained you, you'll walk away from them without guilt, not because you're cold, but because you're clear, and clarity is power. Let me say this loud. You are not responsible for other people's happiness at the cost of your own sanity. Stop trying to fix people who aren't even trying to grow. Stop saying yes when your soul is screaming no. That's not love, that's self-abandonment, and the more you do it, the more resentful you become. So what does loving yourself look like? It looks like showing up for you even when no one else does. It looks like resting when you're tired, not just when you've earned it. It looks like leaving the room, the job, the relationship, if staying means losing yourself. That's real self-love, and here's the most powerful part. When you do love yourself first, you start attracting people who respect you, not just need you. You stop tolerating chaos. You stop settling for potential. You stop being afraid to be alone. Because you're not lonely, you're finally aligned. So if you're waiting for permission to love yourself first, this is it. This is your green light. This is your wake-up call. Stop waiting for someone to choose you. Choose yourself every single time you want to change your life. Start right here with your thoughts, with your decisions, with the way you speak to yourself every morning. You want radical love? Start by giving it to the one person who's been with you through everything. You survived every moment that was meant to break you. You stood back up. You kept going. Isn't it time you gave yourself some damn credit? Loving yourself isn't ego, it's the key. It unlocks everything you've been chasing on the outside. Because when you're full on the inside, you stop seeking what already lives within you. Ladies and gentlemen, from this day forward, choose you. Show up for you, believe in you, because when you love yourself first, the world finally learns how to treat you right. When you hear the phrase loving yourself is not selfish, it's survival, something in your gut should shift. Not because it's catchy, but because deep down you already know it's true. The problem is, most of us have been conditioned to think that putting ourselves first means we're being selfish, arrogant, or inconsiderate. From the time we're young, especially for women, we are praised for selflessness, for being agreeable, for putting others before ourselves. We're taught that the more we give, the better we are. But what happens when you keep giving and there's nothing left? What happens when the world takes and takes, and you're so empty that even getting out of bed feels like a mountain? Survival isn't about being liked. It's about being whole. It's about standing up in the morning, looking yourself in the mirror, and knowing that you've got your own back, no matter what. Because here's the raw truth: people will come and go, jobs will change, relationships may end, but the one constant in every single chapter of your life is you. And if you don't love that person first, How are you supposed to trust that anyone else can? This is not a call to be self-centered. This is a call to be self-aware. When you operate from a place of depletion, you make choices out of fear, obligation, guilt, and you know what that does. It traps you. It keeps you saying yes when your entire body is screaming no. It keeps you locked in relationships that drain you because you think leaving makes you a bad person. It keeps you stuck in careers that don't align with your passion because you've confused safety with purpose. That's not love. That's survival mode with a smile on it. You cannot thrive when your survival depends on ignoring your own needs. You can't keep putting everyone else on a pedestal while you're buried underneath your own to-do list of sacrifice. You don't owe anyone the parts of you that you're still trying to heal, and if that feels uncomfortable to hear, sit with it. Because a lot of the discomfort we feel when we try to love ourselves is the programming inside us telling us we're not worthy of that love unless we're doing something for someone else. That's a lie. You were worthy the moment you took your first breath. Full stop. Let's talk about what survival looks like when you finally decide to love yourself. It looks like walking away from conversations that belittle you. It looks like taking a break when your body says it's tired, not waiting until you're breaking down to listen. It looks like choosing solitude over company that makes you question your worth. It looks like no longer explaining why your peace matters. That's not selfish, that's smart, that's strength, that's survival. When you choose yourself, it doesn't mean you're ignoring the people you love. It means you're showing up for them as the healthiest, most grounded version of yourself. You're not operating from resentment or burnout. You're choosing to be intentional, not obligatory, because let's face it, when you give from an empty cup, you're not really giving, you're bleeding. And eventually, people get used to the idea that your suffering is normal, that you'll always be there, no matter how much it costs you. That's dangerous, and it's exactly why loving yourself has to be non-negotiable. Loving yourself is refusing to betray yourself for temporary validation. It's looking at your reflection and saying, "I've got you," even when nobody else does. It's knowing that your worth is not conditional, it's permanent. You don't earn it by overextending. You don't earn it by overachieving. You don't earn it by shrinking to fit someone else's comfort zone. You honor it, you protect it, you live by it. So let's be clear, if people call you selfish for setting boundaries, for taking time to recharge, for saying no without explanation, let them. Their discomfort is not your responsibility. You are not alive to be a mirror for other people's insecurities. You are here to live, to grow, to rise, to thrive. Stop apologizing for needing rest. Stop explaining your decisions to people who wouldn't lift a finger if the roles were reversed. Stop bending until you break. You've done that already, haven't you? And it got you nowhere but tired, bitter, and unseen. So no more of that. This is your permission slip. To rest, to heal, to walk away, to take up space, to breathe without guilt, to prioritize yourself without shame. This is not a rehearsal. Your life is happening now, and survival doesn't mean just existing. It means choosing you every single day, especially when it's hard, especially when it feels uncomfortable, because the truth is, no one's coming to save you. That's your job. And the most powerful thing you can do is show the world what it looks like when a person decides to love themselves fiercely, unapologetically, and fully. That's not selfish, that's revolutionary. When you treat yourself with love, with kindness, with worth, you teach the world how to follow suit. Every single day, in every interaction, you are laying the groundwork for how others are allowed to show up in your life. And if you constantly speak down to yourself, criticize your choices, and accept less than what you need, people will mirror that energy right back at you. It's not that they're cruel, it's that they're watching you to see how to treat you. And if what they see is someone who undervalues themselves, who bends for validation, who apologizes for existing, they will follow your lead. Let's not sugarcoat it. The world is full of people who will take advantage of you if you let them. Not because they're evil, but because they're operating in survival mode too. They're scanning every relationship asking, what can I get here? And if you've shown them through your own self-neglect that you'll overgive, overextend, and over-apologize, they will drain you dry without a second thought. You set the bar, you set the boundaries, you set the rules of engagement. And when you love yourself, that bar is high, clear, and unwavering. Think of it this way. Imagine walking into a beautifully clean house where everything is in place, peaceful, and inviting. You'd naturally take off your shoes, respect the space, be mindful of your presence, right? Now, walk into a space that's chaotic, disorganized, neglected. You'll treat it with less care because that's the tone that's already been set. Your life, your energy, your self-worth, they are the house. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for how others will behave in your space. And yet, so many people spend their lives trying to prove their worth to others, to be liked, to be needed, to be chosen. But here's the hard truth. You can't hustle for worthiness. You can't earn respect from others while secretly disrespecting yourself. You can't expect others to love the parts of you that you keep hiding out of shame. People can feel when you don't trust your own value. They can feel when you're performing instead of living. And most of all, they can feel when you're tolerating instead of thriving. So what does it look like to teach others how to treat you by how you treat yourself? It looks like not laughing at jokes that cut too close to your insecurities. It looks like leaving a conversation when your values are disrespected. It looks like speaking your needs clearly without softening them to make other people comfortable. It looks like walking away from relationships where you're constantly explaining why you deserve basic kindness. It looks like choosing solitude over love, and don't get this twisted. This isn't about being rude or cold or confrontational. It's about being intentional. It's about showing people that you take yourself seriously, and because of that, they need to take you seriously too. The energy you put out is the invitation for the energy you receive. Think about the people in your life who you respect deeply. Chances are they respect themselves first. They don't bend for everyone. They don't chase. They don't explain their worth. They simply *are*, and their presence commands honor. That didn't happen by accident. That came from a consistent commitment to themselves. You can have that too, but it starts inside. It starts when you stop waiting for someone to validate your worth and you decide to validate it yourself. It starts when you choose to treat your body with care, not just with exercise and food, but with sleep, rest, and kindness. It starts when you speak to yourself like you would to someone you love. Because if your self-talk is filled with shame, doubt, and pressure, you're silently telling others that it's okay to treat you that way too, and don't think people aren't watching. They are, your kids, your friends, your partner, your coworkers. They are watching how you treat you, and they take their cues from that. So if you want to be respected, admired, valued, show them what that looks like by doing it first. This is how you break the cycle. You stop begging for bare minimums. You stop explaining your worth. You stop making excuses for people who consistently disappoint you. And most importantly, you stop disappointing yourself. Because every time you tolerate something that violates your boundaries, you're sending yourself a message that your comfort doesn't matter, and over time that message becomes your identity, until one day you wake up and realize you don't recognize yourself anymore. But it doesn't have to get there. You can shift it. You can start today. You can draw a new line in the sand and say, from this moment on, I'm treating myself with the love, dignity, and compassion I've been waiting for others to give me. And the moment you do that, you begin to transform not just your relationship with yourself, but your entire life. Because once you love yourself, you become magnetic, confident, whole, not perfect, but powerful. And that energy attracts the kind of people who respect your boundaries, honor your heart, and meet you where you already are, in full alignment with the standards you've set. So love yourself, not as a backup plan, but as the blueprint. Love yourself so clearly that others have no choice but to follow your example or exit your life. Either way, you win. Loving yourself is not about spa days and inspirational quotes. It's about doing the work when no one's watching. It's about honoring your own growth even when it's uncomfortable, even when it means facing things you'd rather ignore. Real self-love is a commitment, not a mood. It's choosing discipline when distraction is easier. It's choosing healing over blaming. It's choosing the hard conversations with yourself over numbing the pain with temporary escapes. We often confuse loving ourselves with feeling good all the time. But the truth is, loving yourself sometimes means doing the thing you least want to do, getting up early, letting go of toxic relationships, forgiving people who never apologized, saying no when it would be easier to say yes. It's not glamorous, it's not always fun, but it's real. And when it's real, it builds strength. The kind of strength that doesn't shatter under pressure because it was built in truth, not fantasy. There are going to be days when loving yourself looks like pushing through. Like saying, this is hard, but I'm going to show up anyway. On those days, you're not going to feel inspired. You're not going to have all the answers, but you will have your why asterisk. And if your why asterisk is to live a life that reflects who you are at your core, you'll stop waiting for the motivation to come knocking. You'll get up and take action because you've made a commitment to yourself, and that commitment is not up for negotiation. You see, people think growth is a straight line, but growth is messy, it's nonlinear, it's filled with backtracks, breakdowns, and breakthroughs, and self-love. It's the anchor that keeps you grounded when the process gets chaotic. When you mess up, self-love says you're not a failure, you're learning. When you feel behind, self-love says you're exactly where you need to be. When you feel alone, self-love says you're enough even now. But here's the thing most people don't realize: real self-love is built in private. It's not built when you're on top of the world. It's built when you're lying on your bathroom floor wondering if it's ever going to get better. It's built when you choose not to send that text, not to fall back into old patterns, not to run from your emotions. Those quiet victories, those are the moments that change you. Not the public wins, but the private choices you make when no one else is watching. And let's talk about the hard truth. Sometimes you have to disappoint others in order to not disappoint yourself. Sometimes you have to say, I love you, but I love me too. That doesn't make you a bad person. That makes you someone who's decided that their peace matters, that their time matters, that their energy is sacred. And yes, some people will misunderstand that. They'll call it selfish. They'll say you've changed, but that's exactly the point. You have changed. You're becoming someone who refuses to abandon themselves for the comfort of others. Doing the work also means facing your own reflection and being honest, not brutal, but honest. You can't heal what you refuse to see. You can't grow if you're constantly pretending. That's why loving yourself means giving yourself permission to be human. To mess up, to feel, to fall, but also to rise, to recommit, to show up better the next day. There's power in accountability, not shame. And when you hold yourself accountable from a place of love, not punishment, you begin to transform. You have to understand that no one is going to do this work for you, not your friends, not your partner, not your therapist. They can support you, but they can't be you. They can't climb the mountain for you. They can't rewrite your story. That's your job, and the sooner you take full ownership of your life, the good, the bad, the beautiful, and the broken, the sooner you become free. You become free to set your own standards, free to walk your own path, free to stop asking for permission to be who you are, and that's when life starts to shift, not because things suddenly get easier, but because you've changed the way you respond to what's hard. You've stopped avoiding the work. You've started showing up, and showing up for yourself consistently. That's the foundation of everything. That's what builds resilience. That's what builds clarity. That's what builds confidence, not from compliments, but from evidence. Evidence that says, I've got my own back. I can count on me. So yes, self. Love is work. It's deep. It's sometimes exhausting, but it's also the most liberating thing you'll ever do. Because once you've gone to battle for yourself, once you've walked through the fire of your own healing, once you've done the hard things out of love, not fear, you become unshakable, and unshakable people. They don't chase, they don't beg, they don't shrink, they don't settle. They walk into every room knowing that the most important relationship in their life is the one they have with themselves, and everything they allow in after that is just a reflection of what they've already given within. You've probably heard the phrase, you can't pour from an empty cup, but how often do you actually stop to check how full your own cup is? We live in a world that celebrates the grind, the hustle, the endless giving. We're praised for being selfless, for putting others first, for always being available, until we're burned out, resentful, or even sick. But here's the reality no one wants to talk about. You are no good to anyone if you are running on empty. Loving yourself first is not just a nice idea, it's survival, it's necessary, it's the root of everything else you give. We are conditioned to believe that self-love is selfish, that if you prioritize your needs, your time, your peace, you're somehow abandoning your responsibilities. But what if I told you that the opposite is true? That when you choose yourself, when you take care of your mental, emotional, and physical well-being first, you actually show up better for everyone else in your life. Because here's the thing, people don't need the tired, stretched, thin, emotionally drained version of you. They need the full, grounded, aligned version of you, and that version only exists when you start honoring your own needs without guilt. Let's get real. Saying yes to everyone and everything doesn't make you kind. It makes you unavailable to yourself. It's not noble to burn yourself out trying to be everything to everyone. It's not love if it's costing you your sanity. And deep down, you already know this. You feel it in your body when your yes is really a no. You feel the tension in your chest when you ignore your limits. You feel the resentment creeping in when your needs are consistently sidelined. So the shift starts with radical responsibility. No one else is going to protect your peace for you. No one is going to block off rest time in your calendar. No one is going to enforce your boundaries. That's your job, and when you take that job seriously, everything in your life starts to reflect it. Your relationships change, your health changes, your mood shifts, your confidence grows, because now you're no longer outsourcing your well-being, you're owning it. Loving yourself first means learning how to say no without over-explaining. It means recognizing that rest is not a reward, it's a requirement. It means building boundaries not as walls to keep people out, but as filters to let the right people in. People who honor your space, your time, your energy, because you do. People who don't expect you to deplete yourself for their comfort. People who see your self-respect and rise to meet it. And yes, at first, it's going to feel uncomfortable. If you've spent your whole life pleasing, prioritizing others, and betraying your own needs, then self-love is going to feel unfamiliar, maybe even selfish, but that discomfort, it's just your nervous system adjusting to a new normal. A healthy normal, a version of life where you matter, where your needs aren't optional, and where love, real love, starts from within. And here's the kicker, when you love yourself first, you stop needing people to complete you. You stop chasing approval, you stop shrinking yourself to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be. You become whole, not perfect, not always polished, but whole, and wholeness, that's magnetic. That's powerful. That's where your life starts to reflect the love you've given yourself. Think about how you treat the people you love the most. You're patient with them, you listen to them, you support their dreams, you forgive their mistakes. Now ask yourself, do you do that for you, Or do you beat yourself up for every little thing? Do you push yourself harder when what you really need is rest? Do you ignore your intuition because you're afraid of being judged? Loving yourself first means applying that same compassion inward. It means showing up for yourself not only on the good days, but especially on the hard ones. It's choosing to believe that you are worthy of kindness even when you're struggling. It's deciding that your needs are not burdens. They're signals pointing you back to alignment. And when you start living from that place, you teach the people around you how to love you too. You show them that you are not available for one-sided relationships. You show them that you will not abandon yourself to be chosen. You show them that your time, your space, and your energy are valuable, and the people who can't respect that, they fall away, not because you're being harsh, but because you're finally being honest. The truth is, loving yourself first is not just the foundation of a healthy life. It's the compass. It helps you navigate what to say yes to, who to keep in your circle, what dreams are really yours. It helps you walk away from what drains you and walk toward what fuels you. It's not a luxury. It's the starting point. So don't wait until you crash. Don't wait for the wake-up call. Don't wait for someone else to come rescue you from a life you were never meant to survive through. You were meant to thrive. And thriving starts with choosing you over and over, loudly, unapologetically, and without waiting for permission. Because when you love yourself first, everything else starts to align. Everything else becomes possible. You teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. This isn't just a catchy phrase. It's a reality that shows up every day in your relationships, in your workplace, and in your life. If you constantly belittle yourself, tolerate disrespect, overextend yourself, or stay silent when your boundaries are violated, you are setting a precedent. You're unintentionally telling the world, this is okay. This is what I accept. And guess what? People will believe you. They'll follow your lead. So, if you want better relationships, more respect, and deeper connection, it starts with you. The way you talk to yourself matters. If your inner dialogue is filled with criticism, judgment, and doubt, then you're not only hurting yourself, you're modeling to others that this is how you deserve to be treated. But when you speak to yourself with compassion, patience, and clarity, people notice. You start showing up differently, your energy shifts, and without saying a word, you begin to demand a different kind of treatment, not through confrontation, but through calibration. People either match your self-respect or they fade out, and either outcome is a win. Boundaries are a powerful way we teach others how to treat us. And I'm not just talking about the boundaries you say I'm talking about the ones you enforce . Because let's be honest, if you say, I don't accept being spoken to like that, but you stay silent when it happens, that boundary is just lip service. Real boundaries are upheld in action. They're sometimes uncomfortable, they're often misunderstood, but they are essential. And when you consistently enforce your boundaries, you build a reputation, not as someone who's difficult, but as someone who knows their worth. Let's take a moment to be real here. A lot of us struggle with teaching others how to treat us because we're afraid. Afraid of being alone, afraid of confrontation, afraid that if we raise our standards, no one will meet them. But that fear keeps you stuck in cycles of pain. It convinces you to tolerate what deep down you know is wrong. It whispers, don't make a fuss, just accept it. And every time you listen to that fear, you trade a piece of yourself, worth for temporary comfort. But temporary comfort is not worth long-term peace. And if you want peace, you have to stop choosing silence when your soul is screaming. There is nothing more powerful than someone who knows how they deserve to be treated and isn't afraid to stand alone until they receive it. That level of self-trust, that's unshakable. It tells the world, I will not settle for breadcrumbs. I will not beg for the bare minimum. I will not twist myself into someone I'm not just to earn your approval. And here's what happens when you operate from that space. The wrong people exit, and the right people rise asterisk. They meet you at your level because they see how clearly you've defined it. You don't need to be aggressive to teach people how to treat you. You just need to be consistent. Consistent in the way you show up for yourself. Consistent in the standards you hold. Consistent in the love you give inward before seeking it outward. That consistency becomes your signal. It becomes your boundary, your message, your shield, and when someone steps to you without the respect you deserve, that signal is clear. This is not a match. This doesn't align. The world will test you. People will push. Some will guilt you, manipulate you, try to wear down your resolve. But every time you hold firm, every time you honor your worth over their expectations, you grow stronger. You stop operating from a place of fear and start operating from a place of power. And that power isn't loud. It doesn't need to be. It's steady. It's centered. It's unwavering. And let's not forget, this isn't just about external relationships. This is about how you show up for you. Are you keeping promises to yourself? Are you honoring your time and energy? Are you forgiving yourself with grace, but also holding yourself accountable with honesty? Because if you're not treating yourself well, how can you expect anyone else to do better? You are the blueprint. Your self-treatment sets the tone. Sometimes that means having hard conversations. Sometimes it means walking away. Sometimes it means disappointing others in order to stay loyal to yourself. And yes, it's going to feel uncomfortable. Growth always is. But discomfort is a small price to pay for the peace that comes when you are finally living in alignment with your values. The biggest transformation happens not when you convince others to respect you, but when you require it. When you stop explaining your worth and simply embody it. When you stop arguing for your boundaries and just live by them. When you stop trying to be liked and start being true. Because here's the truth, not everyone is meant to go with you on your journey of self-love. But those who are, they'll meet you with the same energy, they'll see how you treat yourself, and they'll rise to match that, not because you asked, but because your self-respect demanded it, so start there. Start by showing up for yourself in every way you wish others would. Speak kindly to yourself, make space for your healing, protect your peace, walk away from what dishonors your soul, and watch how the world around you begins to shift, not because you forced it, but because you led it. With courage, with clarity, with love, that's how you teach the world how to treat you, by first becoming the example of what you will and will not allow.